Artificial intelligence has been taking over the internet.
2 weeks ago, a new artificial intelligence program called ChatGPT made its debut online.
It feels like everywhere you look, you hear people talking about how ChatGPT is going to change the internet, and how artificial intelligence is going to change the economy, and how AI is going to change the world. In the last few decades, there's only been a handful of entities that have really changed the way that we operate in the world. Google changed the world because it changed how we accessed information. Amazon changed the world because it changed how we shop, and Bitcoin is trying to change the world by changing how we look at money. And now artificial intelligence is trying to change the world by changing how we analyze and process information. But before you dump all of your money and time into understanding artificial intelligence, there's 5 things that you need to understand. Number 1, what is artificial intelligence in ChatGPT? Number 2, what's the impact of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT onto our world and our economy? Number 3, how can you make money from artificial intelligence and ChatGPT? 4th, what are the shortcomings of artificial intelligence? And 5th, is this just a fad? And what's the future of AI? Let me start by making sure we're all on the same page. What is artificial intelligence in ChatGPT? Artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI, is a digital brain. It's a separate brain that can now process and analyze information. You can compare this to the technology that we have now, where when you ask something a question like Google will then give you a place where you can find the answer to the question. So if you go to Google and you search, how do I start a popular YouTube channel? Google will then show you a number of different blog posts where it believes that you can find the answer to your question. Versus artificial intelligence reads through all the articles on the internet and then it provides an answer to your question. ChatGPT is the first extension of artificial intelligence that's available to everybody free of cost. And the way that ChatGPT works is you can ask ChatGPT a question and it will search the internet and then process all the information that's out there and then spit out an answer for you. So if you go to ChatGPT and you search, how do I start a popular YouTube channel? It will search the articles and then it will present you with a step-by-step solution on how you can start a successful YouTube channel. First, come up with a niche. Second, create good content. Third, promote your channel, and on and on and on. But this is where things get really exciting because you can take it one step further. You can go into ChatGPT and you can say something like, using Python, tell me how to source the most popular YouTube channels published in the last week. And then what ChatGPT will do is it will show you how to do that and it will actually create the code using Python, showing you how to source the most popular YouTube channels. And then it will even teach you how to use this code and how to change the parameters. That way you can find the results that you want. ChatGPT is an extension of a company called OpenAI, and Microsoft is a big investor in OpenAI. Microsoft has invested $1 billion into OpenAI, and Microsoft has come out and said that they want to invest another $10 billion into artificial intelligence. There's 2 reasons why ChatGPT has been so viral lately. Number 1, it's the first free open source artificial intelligence solution that anybody can use. And second, because of how fast it has grown. To put it in perspective, Netflix took 3.5 years to hit 1 million users. Facebook took about 10 months to hit 1 million users. Instagram took about 3 months to hit 1 million users. And ChatGPT took 5 days to hit 1 million users. Second, what's the impact of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT? AI will change the way the information is processed. What used to take months or weeks or days or even hours can now be done in a fraction of the time. If you think about how information processing has evolved over the decades, you can see how the time involved to process information has really changed. 30 years ago, if you wanted to go and write a paper on the history of Pompeii, you'd have to go and find the actual encyclopedia books, find the section about Pompeii, read the section, analyze it, and then you can write your paper on Pompeii. It would have taken you hours to do that. Then about 10 to 15 years ago, encyclopedias essentially became extinct because now you could just go onto Google and search the history of Pompeii. Now Google will show you a bunch of different articles on the history of Pompeii. You could read these brief articles, summarize it, and then write your paper. Now you went from spending 3 to 5 hours writing this paper to maybe 1 to 2 hours writing this paper. Now, if you wanted to write a paper on the history of Pompeii, you could just go into ChatGPT and search, write me a 5-page paper on the history of Pompeii, and ChatGPT will spit it out in just a few seconds. Now, of course, every high school kid and college kid is loving this, but AI does a lot more than just writing papers or writing some code for you. Artificial intelligence can change the way we shop because it can recommend you buy certain outfits for certain occasions. AI will also change how fast we can analyze and process information because now you can have a second brain that's constantly working to analyze and process information for you. You can also use AI in medicine to detect cancer early on because the artificial intelligence can analyze your historical medical data and combine that with medical intelligence. So the impact of artificial intelligence is that for the first time we have technology that can not just process the information, but process it, analyze it, and propose a solution to your problems by giving it the right information. Third, this is where things get fun. How can you make money from artificial intelligence and ChatGPT? I was just walking through a real estate property that I was looking at acquiring, and my real estate broker was there, and he gave this joke where he said, 25 years ago when I was in my math class, my math teacher told me that you better be good at math because no one's gonna walk around with a calculator in their back pocket. Now here we are today, and everybody has a calculator in their back pocket with their smartphones. That means in theory, you can reallocate the time you would have spent learning how to do the math problems, doing the math problems, and calculating these math problems to now doing something more productive that's going to give you a better return on your time. It's the same concept here. If you can train an artificial intelligence or ChatGPT to do something that you're constantly spending your time doing right now, well, now you can just plug it into ChatGPT or some other artificial intelligence and it can do that work for you, and now you've freed up your time to do something else that can make you more money. So if you're writing advertising copy, or you're writing blog posts, or you're trying to come up with a marketing strategy, you can tell ChatGPT what you want and it might be able to spit out an idea for what you need to do. I have seen people write sales emails, sales copy, and advertising text straight through ChatGPT, which saved them a lot of their time. If you can't use ChatGPT to save time, what some people are doing is they're using ChatGPT to create platforms which you can then monetize. Artificial intelligence and ChatGPT allows you to create some APIs. You can create code, you can create some softwares, and so now you can just plug in what you want, you can get the platform that you need, and then you can monetize this API or code or software. And if you don't know how to monetize it, you can just ask ChatGPT on how to do that. The one thing that I do want to caution you on here is when everybody starts to do one thing, whether it's Amazon FBA or listing properties on Airbnb or trading crypto or doing whatever, when everybody starts to do one thing, like trying to make money on ChatGPT by selling some of their APIs, well, it creates a bubble. And the people that got in early can make a lot of money, and then what happens is it gets oversaturated, and then it becomes extremely difficult to do that because this thing that you're trying to make money on is so easily accessible, everybody has learned how to do it, and the market has become saturated. So you got to understand that if you really want to make money, you don't want to just create a side hustle on a way to make money on somebody else's platform, but rather understand how you can build your own thing and then use something like AI or ChatGPT to increase the value that you put out. Maybe you can learn to use AI or ChatGPT to increase how fast you write sales emails. Maybe use it to increase how fast you do your marketing, on how fast you write your sales pages, on how fast you do something within your business instead of just relying on this other product to create money for you. Now, if you are an entrepreneur and you want to stay up to date on the latest business trends and what's happening in terms of innovation, you can join something like Business Briefs. We covered AI and ChatGPT. Business Briefs is a completely free resource for entrepreneurs to keep you up to date on what's happening with the latest business trends. That way you can focus on your own business instead of spending all of your time trying to research what's happening in the business world. Business Briefs is completely free. You can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning. I'll put the link to how you can join Business Briefs for free down in the description below. This brings us to number 4. What are some of the shortcomings of artificial intelligence? Well, artificial intelligence is a brain, and a brain has to learn something in order to understand it. And if it hasn't learned something, it might not be able to process the best answer. So you and I have had different experiences as a human, and we've experienced different emotions. We've seen different things, we've touched different things, and because of this, we've created different levels of common sense. And we know that a toaster oven is heavier than a pencil. ChatGPT hasn't done that yet. Here's an example of some of the shortcomings of artificial intelligence and machine learning as of now. This is according to Forbes. Forbes wrote, a machine learning model would have no problem identifying the roosters crow when the sun rises, but it is unable to establish whether the rooster crowing causes the sun to rise or vice versa. Indeed, it's not equipped to even understand the terms of this distinction. Now, just like anything else, with time, artificial intelligence will evolve. It'll get better and it will grow. But as of today, artificial intelligence doesn't have the same level of emotion, the same level of common sense, and the same level of human experience that you and I have had. And finally, number 5, is artificial intelligence a fad? In the early 1900s, when the car was finally starting to gain some popularity, you had a group of people that were very vocal about how cars and automobiles were just a fad and how they would just go away, because why in the world would you want to drive an automobile when everybody has a really good working condition horse? In the year 2000, newspapers were still publishing the idea that the internet is a fad, it's not a good idea, and that it's going to go away. Artificial intelligence has real implications. It will be able to change our world, it will be able to change our economy, but businesses and people will have to learn how to adopt it, how to teach it, and how to apply it into our economy. Now, this is going to take time, and you're going to see booms and busts just like every other industry, because when people get excited about a new industry, you see tons of dollars flow into it because everybody wants to be the first mover. When that happens, you can see a huge boom in this market. We saw this happen in the dot-com bubble of 2000 before it bust, because you had all this money going to dot-com companies, and then it bust because people realized that not every company with the word .com at the end of it is going to survive. Same thing with cryptocurrency. When people thought that Bitcoin and crypto was going to take over the world, you saw all this money flow into crypto, and then it came crashing down. Does this mean crypto is going to go away? No, there's a lot of use of the blockchain, but it's going to take time to be adopted and used and refined. Same with artificial intelligence. As more and more people get excited about AI, you're going to see more and more dollars flow in. This could create a bubble in AI. This then could pop, and people will think that AI was just a fad, it'll never work, and then you'll start to see the better and more improved uses of AI come out, and that will be the long-lasting use of artificial intelligence. So AI has the ability to now create a second brain, which can change the way that we analyze and process information, which is something we've never really been able to do before, and ChatGPT is the first extension of that that's available to people free of charge. This is the way that our system works because the thinkers, the C-level executives, have a fiduciary duty to increase the share value of their corporation, aka the C-level executives have a duty to increase the stock price. Who does that benefit? It doesn't benefit the workers unless you're taking a piece of your paycheck